Good evening, friends. Today we are going to talk about Emperor Karihala Chola in the Management Lessons Learned from Great Indian Legends series. All the informations given in this video are based on the books, Tamil books, Pattinapalai, Perunatrupadai, and Purananuru and Ahananuru. So I thank my dear great friends, Dr. Ashokan of Akur and Mr. Arivanandam of Tanjavur for inspiring me to talk on this great king and validating the inputs collected by me and correcting some of the informations to the best of our knowledge. The content of this presentation are our point of view, which may not be 100% perfect. Chola dynasty is one of the longest ruling dynasty in the world's history. According to the researchers, they are around 600 to 700 years they ruled, it seems. So Karigala Chola comes under early Cholas category because around 2200 years before, early Cholas were there. So the management lessons which can be learned from great Indian legend Karigala Cholan was: one, lucky to have a great mentor, his maternal uncle Irumbidar Thalayar, trusted and listened to him fully. Karigala Cholan had a clear vision, mission, and detailed plan to achieve his vision. He is a master in creating strategies and executing it perfectly. He knows his areas of improvement and his capabilities. He increased his capabilities by his qualities and skills himself with a lot of determination. He has the ability to ignite and inspire people to get the things done. Karigala Cholan was a people-oriented person. He had many innovative problem-solving skills. One of the example is Kallanai, which we are going to see it in detail. He also had a very good knowledge on water management and listen to the elders in the ministry and make use of their knowledge and utilizing resources, which we are also going to see. Karigala Cholan's father name was Urayur Ilamchichanni, mother name is Velir, princess. According to the researchers, Karigala lost his father at his young age itself. Before his death, King Ilanjichanni requested his loyal ministers to form a council and rule the kingdom till Karigalan attains a proper age. And after his death, all the ministers were little afraid because the Chola kingdom does not have a king and there is a possibility of Pandya and Chera king can attack. In order to protect the prince and the queen, they requested queen to stay away from the capital, which is Pumbuhar. Earlier it is known as Kaveri Pumbattinam, and to live in a secret place till the prince attains a proper age. They also suggested queen's brother Irumbidar Thalayar can live with the queen, and since he is a big warrior and he can protect his daughter and his son-in-law. Irumbidar Thalayar, the whole responsibility he got because of being the maternal uncle of Emperor Karigala Cholan. He taught all the necessary skills a prince should learn, like using all weapons, swords, spears, bow and arrow, etc. Karigala Cholan listened to his uncle about the greatness of his ancestors and their intelligence, people caring, society development capabilities, etc., which inspired him, and he wanted to excel his ancestors. That drive him to become more successful at a later date. His uncle also trained Karigala Cholan to handle horses, elephants, and fighting with wild animals if they attack. Karigalan became an expert in all these aspects soon because he learned with a passion and he had burning desire to regain his power as a king at the earliest. He became fearless person since he handled all the wild animals and they don't have a proper method of attacking. They will attack in all possible ways. So he knows how to handle the problems if it is coming from any direction. So he became very tough person because of the training given by his mentor, his uncle Irumbidar Thalayar. According to the researchers, there are three reasons why his name is called Karigalan. First reason is because of the influence of Pandya king, some enemies tried to burn him alive in a hut when he was sleeping. Karigala Cholan escaped from that event with the help of his uncle. While escaping, his legs were burnt. Okay, that is the reason people called him as Karikalan. This was the very old story, which normally they taught in the school syllabus and all. Second possible reason is Karikalan means, Kari means elephant, Kalan means a Hindu god who takes the life of a living creatures. A brave warrior who has abilities and skills to kill an elephant can be called as Kari Kalan. That means a person who can kill elephant is called Kari Kalan. The third possible reason for the name of Kari Kalan is a Kalan. That means a person who removes the life of the living creature who comes in an elephant. That means Kari Kalan. So this name was more apt for him. So I prefer possibility of having this name became as a Karigala Cholan. Since he never lost any battle and won all the battles he fought, and this name, according to the sources, this name is more apt and suitable. Karigala Cholan became a king at the age of 18 years old. There was some, according to some researchers, people say that there was a story behind how he became a king. In olden days, after the incident of the accident of people trying to burn him alive, his uncle and Karigalan and the queen decided to keep themselves totally cut off from the capital, Pumbuhar, and the ministers. After a few years, ministers also were not getting any information about Karigala Cholan or from his uncle. They thought that there is a possibility they might have killed Karigalan. So they want to choose a king. In ancient days, the selection of king, if the king is not available, then they will send the king's elephant with a garland on its trunk, and the elephant goes and select a suitable person and put a garland on his neck, and the whole kingdom will accept that person as the king. Okay, so since the king was also not there and the elephant was not in the palace, it was in the temple at near Sirgari, and the ministers went on an auspicious day, gave the garland to the elephant, and allowed the elephant to search for a suitable candidate to become a king of Chola kingdom. According to the researchers, the elephant walked all the way from Sirgadi to Karur, where Karigalan and his mother and his uncle were hiding, and put the garland on Karigalan's neck. That is how he became the king, it seems. Within short period of becoming king, the Chela and Pandya kings were very upset because Chola kingdom is relatively a big kingdom, and a young man at the age of 18 is becoming a king of that. They could not accept it. So they were waiting for an opportunity to fight with the Chola kingdom. In the meanwhile, 11 minor kings, 11 minor kings of in and around Chola kingdom, they discussed themselves and decided to have a fight with Karigalan. While they were discussing it, they found out it's very difficult to fight with Chola army, so they want to take the support from Pandya king. So they went and discussed with Pandya king, and Pandya king was ready to accept that idea and ready to give his army, but he had a little fear because he knows the strength of Chola army. So he don't want to take a chance. So he suggested to the people, if we take Chera king also into our alliance, there is a possibility that we can definitely win the war. So they went and asked Chera king Cheraladan. And Cheraladan, it was an opportunity for him. So he immediately accepted the offer and he told that I will lead the war. So the Battle of Venni was led by Chera king Cheraladan along with Pandyan army and other 11 minor people or minor kings armies also. The moment they started coming towards Chola kingdom, Karigalan came to know about this through his spies. Immediately he brought the entire army from Pumbuhar and allowed them to march towards Karur. In between at Tanjavur, 25 kilometers from Tanjavur, both armies met. Kovil Venni, currently it is called as Kovil Venni. So we call it as a Battle of Venni. And they had the battle at that place. The battle was very fierce and it was, Karigalan was unstoppable because he had all the abilities. He knows how to attack all the people. And imagine it was almost around 10 to 12 times bigger than Chola army. But all those people were not having unified commander. All people had their own commanders, whereas Chola army has a unified commander and he was leading the fight from the front. Karigalan was using all the weapons in the most effective way and he created a huge damage to the enemies. So during the fierce battle, he threw a spear with the full force and it pierced through the chest of Chera king Cheraladan. And in ancient days, people will think that it is dishonor to live with a scar at the back because in the war, people will like to die having the spear or sword on the marking on the chest or the neck, not at the back. But it was not the mistake of Charan Cheraladan. Because of the full force Karigalan used, the spear pierced through his chest and went up to the back and created a wound. So he committed suicide by starvation and facing north without taking water also. After the Battle of Venni, Karigalan fame has become spreading across the region. So his uncle, Irimitar Talayar, helped him a lot and also supported him in all the possible further attacks. In fact, some researchers say that another 9 small kings immediately joined against Karigalan, and immediately after the war, within 2 months or 3 months, they attacked Chola army, it seems. Again, with the help of his uncle, Karigal Cholan completely eliminated all the enemies. And there are some more theories are available, or management people, or sorry, the research scholars, they are saying that Karigalan went up to Himalayas and he put his flag with tiger at Himalayas and came back. And wherever he was stopped, he was winning, he had a fight with them and won the battle each ministers or each king, it seems. But there is no proof for that. According to Sekula's Periyapuranam, which was written in the 10th century, he had mentioned that there are 5 ancient Shiva temples in South India. And they are, first is Chidambaram, second is Thiruvarur, third is Kanjipuram, fourth one is Sirihari, and the fifth one is Thiruvayaru. According to the archaeological reports, Thiruvayaru main temple was built by Emperor Karigala Cholan 2200 years back. Further additional works was done by many Chola kings and queens at a later date, including Rajaraja Cholan's elder sister Kundavi Nachiyar also had done a lot of renovation and had constructed a small temple inside the big temple as known as Vadakailayam, which was constructed by Kundavi Nachiyar. During that time, we have seen the photo of Thiruviyaru. It's a huge water. Like this everywhere in Tanjavur, Trichy, Delta area, because the water was huge and even now it is very good. Water is available, irrespective of having so many dams across the river Kaveri. So the people in and around Tanjavur, Trichy and the entire Chola kingdom were totally depending on farming and cultivation of paddies. So they were very rich and they were getting huge yield in every crops, whatever they are putting it, because the excess water available at them. But during some rainy seasons also, the excess water also created a havoc. It has drowned most of the villages in and around the Kaveri river, which has created a concern for Emperor Karigala Cholan. He wanted to protect his people. So what he did was, immediately he requested all the people to support him to strengthen the walls of Kaveri. All the people, entire Chola kingdom, deputed one male member from each family and they involved in the work of strengthening the river banks. Even then, the problem was not getting solved. So he discussed with his ministers and his ministers suggested to have a dam across river Kaveri. Constructing a dam on a river which is flowing continuously, flowing in the sense is not like current river. I will just tell about a little bit details about the water quantity flowing through that Kaveri that time. Currently, 2 lakh cubic feet of water per second flows through river Kaveri at the point of Kalane or a Grand Anakat. Now we have more than plenty of dams are available from Karnataka, from the river origin to what you call Kalane. In that time, they didn't have any dam. So at least 15 times more water should have come. That means 30 lakh cubic feet water per second was crossing Kalanai at that point of time. When such a huge quantity of water is flowing through it, constructing a dam is a real Herculean task. It's an engineering marvel. You have to visit it to believe it. Okay. So what he has used is, he used a simple methodology, like you might have seen it when you go to the seashore and stand in the seashore. When the waves comes and goes back, it tries to take some sand below your leg. Because it cannot take you, it will try to remove some amount of sand. After some time, that position will remain same. After that, it will cannot take sand below your leg. So what happens is, when you are putting a heavy rock on a river, especially when the water was flowing, it goes and gets stuck. After that, they will put another rock with a mud paste applied on it on the top of the rocks which was already put. This rock with the mud paste goes and sticks on the other rocks. The sticking is water resistant. It will not get worn out in the water. So what happens is, because you are increasing the weight of rocks every time, the rocks more or less stay in and around the same place. After increase the huge weight, the rock does not move at all because it becomes a block. Through that method, they constructed the entire dam. Before coming to the word dam, current technology people say that dam is a reservoir. That means a place where we can hold water. In Karigalan period, the height of the dam was only 18 feet. So it was not used for holding huge water. It was mainly used for diverting the huge flow coming into the river Kaveri through the other small rivers. So we can call it as a regulator. We can call it as a regulator as per the current terminologies. Whether it is a regulator or whether it is a dam, even that time 18 feet dam itself is a big thing. especially when the water was flowing continuously, strengthening the banks and water, allowing the water not to enter into Trichy or Srirangam at the other side, but still constructing a dam was also a great job. Whether it is a dam or a moderator, it was a engineering marvel. So how they used to do the water management was, when the water is flowing in the river, from the river there will be a branch which goes to lake. People call it in Tamil Eri. From Eri it will go to Kanmai. Okay, that is another small lake. From Kanmai it go to Karanai. From Karanai it will go to Tangal. From Tangal it go to Endal. From Endal it goes to Urani. From Urani it goes to Kulam. From Kulam it goes to Kuttai. So this is the way they spread the storage points across the kingdom. So the groundwater level itself is increased. So you can imagine, if you have a river alone, what will happen? The in and around the river, the groundwater will increase. But if you spread the river water through these small lakes and Kanmais and Karanai and Tangal, what happens is you are able to distribute the water to over a large area within the kingdom. So the groundwater of the entire kingdom was increased. So they never had any problem of water. So for your easy understanding, in Chennai you have it, no, Tangal. You must be knowing about the names Ayyappan Tangal, Ikadu Tangal. Okay, there is no lake, but earlier it was a lake. But now we converted that lake and people are living over there. So that means the lakes have been closed by all of us. And we are living in a place where earlier lakes used to be there. So it was a mistake done by us. That is the reason we are having a water shortage. So if you see it, this is current day Trichy. This map is only for explaining the concept how they constructed Kallanai. Okay. Around 25 kilometers before Trichy, near Mukambu, currently we have one more dam at Mukambu. Till that Mukambu, the river Kaveri will be huge in size. At Mukambu, it gets divided as Kollidam River and Kaveri River. So Kollidam River is mainly used for diverting the water which goes and drains into the sea, because that river is 6 feet above the Kaveri River's level. So most of the water will go through the Kaveri River only. Only the excess water above the 6 feet level will go through the Kollidam River. Okay, but nowadays people are using Kollidam River to discharge the excess water through that Kollidam River. Okay, so after this Mukambu, there was a Kudamurti River, Vennaru River, Kaveri River. All three rivers were there. Some theory says that Karigalan constructed these three rivers also. But let us go with the same concept. So the Kaveri River, when it comes over here, he constructed a Kalani at a place, so he can divert that water into all 3 points. And in case if the water is excess, he can divert the same water into the Kollidam River also. So the selection of the place was a strategically best place, and also the method by which he constructed dam is also a great one. So I was explaining the concept used in the river, in the dam Kallanai or Grand Anaikad. This was discovered and told to the world by Sir Arthur Thomas Cotton, who was supposed to be the Indian irrigation father, who was appointed by British people in 18th century. So here is for demonstration purpose, they have put a clay on top of a rock and they stack it out. And due to the self weight of the rocks, and gets bonded and it becomes permanently a block. So this is the concept used by Emperor Karigala Cholan for building the Grand Anaikad Dam. And you can see it, and because of this Grand Anaikad, the water was regulated through all the blue lines, all the small rivers and other things. So the entire kingdom got benefit because of that. So how much benefit if you compare with the river Godavari, you will understand. River Godavari has 5 times more water than Kaveri. Okay, even now with river Godavari water, only 10 lakh acres of agriculture land gets benefited because of river Godavari water. Okay, so the river Godavari actually starts from Nasik and goes through Maharashtra and then come to Andhra and then Telangana and then come to Andhra. So if you see it, it's a huge, it's the second largest river in India. Okay, but if you see Kaveri, you are getting 12.5 acres of agriculture land gets benefited with the help of 1/5 of the water which Kaveri gives it comparing to the river Godavari. So it's a great importance and effective utilization of water resources is one of the great example over here. So this is how the Grand Anicut will look like. The length is 1080 feet, width is 66 feet, height is 18 feet. Okay. So as I told you earlier, now at Grand Anicut, 2 lakh cubic feet water flows per second. Okay. So if you sum it up, what are the management lessons you can learn from Emperor Karigala Cholan was one, having a mentor and trusting him and listen to him completely. Second was had a clear vision, mission, and detailed plan to achieve his objectives or goals. Master in creating strategies, when to attack, when to retrieve, and executing it perfectly was exhibited in the Battle of Venni against the army, which was 10 times or 12 times bigger than his army, and won the battle also. He knows, Emperor Karigala Cholan knows about his area of improvement and he also knows about his capabilities. But with determination, he worked on improving his qualities and skills. Because of that, he was able to handle any enemy. Emperor Karigala Cholan had the ability to ignite and inspire people to get the things done. Emperor Karigala Cholan was people oriented and he had many innovative problem solving skills. Okay. Example was Kallanai Dam. He also know how to utilize the water resources and water management by the methodology explained to you. So these are the important great lessons management lessons we can learn from great Indian legend Emperor Karigala Cholan. So you can see this YouTube link to have a aerial view of Grand Anicut at Kallanai. And please note that the Grand Anicut or the Kallanai is oldest man-made dam which is still under use. There are 3 more older dams are there. In fact, number 1 or oldest dam in the man-made dam in the world it was at Egypt, but it was damaged. Other 2 dams are not functional, and it is no water is coming through that. Whereas Grand Anicut, 2,200 years old, still under use effectively. Thanks to your participation and request you to share this video when we share the YouTube link to all of you to spread the news about Emperor Karigala Cholan among your friends and relatives. Thank you once again. Have a great day. Now we will move on to the question and answer session.